Hi, this is James. Welcome to Slaying Sober, where we tell stories of addiction, recovery, and hope. Wherever you are in your sober journey, know that you do not stand alone. Today, I'm sitting down with Gary, a guy who's living proof that no cycle is unbreakable and no one's beyond the reach of hope. Gary's story is real, raw, and straight up no bullshit. Growing up on the tough streets of Perth, Gary was drawn to the wild life, inspired by Biggie and Tupac and chasing that gangster image. It pulled him into fast living, chaos, and crime. By 16, he was injecting, and by 18, he was locked up in a maximum security prison. But then something shifted. Gary's partner questioned him, "Don't you want to be something different?" And with a baby on the way, he realised he had to be better. That moment lit a fire in him, not for anyone else, but because he finally was ready to love himself again. 8 years clean now, Gary keeps it real. He doesn't glamorise recovery, but his story is bigger than him. Through his podcast, The Recovery Tapes, and his TikTok community, he's turned struggle into hope, smashing fake stories that keep people stuck, and showing thousands that change doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be possible. This conversation is packed with honesty, grit, and courage. Listen on for this conversation with Gary. Hey Gary, welcome to Slaying Sober. Lovely to finally catch up, mate.
Thanks for the time, man. I appreciate the asking to come on.
Nah, I've been loving your stuff. Now, the first time I stumbled across you, Gary, was you talking about sitting out the front of a chemist. Can you talk a little bit about what happened?
I went to the chemist to buy my daughter Band-Aids, and she's 7 now, my son's 2, bro, and I just got hit with this overwhelming urge of just, oh my God, I'm at the chemist being a dad.
Yeah, how good.
And dude, and so, fuck, bro, I never thought I was going to be the guy. When I was like that, not in a million years did I think that I would ever be there with my 2 children to give my missus a break from our lives that we had. And I made that video to honor that, man.
Yeah. That's cool, man. The gifts of recovery.
It's not an easy skate. Like, I've been clean for 8 years now. It's just ticked 8 years as my daughter's turned 7. So I told my full story on another podcast, but I'll tell it again today, man. Like, I first picked up a pipe when I was 15. And there was guys that I hung around that did it younger than that. I wasn't in a group of people where drugs weren't thrown around, because they were, and by the time I was 16, I was injecting.
Yeah, right.
And it essentially turned me into an animal. I was going through puberty, James. You would understand this as a bloke. My head was already all over the place, bro. I was already going through an emotional storm of anger, aggression, understanding. I was attracted to women in a different way. I had all these feelings and all these emotions, and then I was injecting twice a day, man, and not sleeping for fucking 4 or 5 days at a row, and stealing cars and breaking into houses, man. And it went from 0 to 100, eh?
What do you think made you turn to drugs at that age?
I really wanted to be a gangster. I really wanted to be cool, bro. Where I grew up, I'm born in 1992. So when I was a teenager, it was all Biggie and Tupac and all the rest of it, bro. And, as a young white guy in the suburbs, man, I didn't have anything to be connecting to that music about, man. I didn't have my friends have their faces blown off in the street, or I wasn't going, but I listened to all that music, man, and it went in these ear holes And it
Yes.
stuck in my brain, and it made me believe that I was, with the lack of understanding I had as a 15-year-old, it made me
Yep.
think that I had something to complain about, that, you know, I was,
Mm.
living this rough life because some of the guys I knew were going to prison already. Some of my mates' older brothers were already standing over people and running through houses. So in my head and my mind, we were gangsters, bro, and we just weren't.
Where did you grow up, Gary?
In Perth City, a little place called Wanneroo. So it's sort of, when I was a
Tell me
kid,
about Wanneroo.
oh, bro, not much good comes out of there, man. A lot of single mothers and a lot of crackheads, mate.
Yep.
It's seriously, like, I'm not here to
Yeah. Yep.
gloss over this anymore, man. This is a story. People need to hear this shit. They need to hear the truth of it. Like,
Yep.
most people I went to school with in Wanneroo are either doing what I'm doing, they're in prison,
Yep.
or they still live in the same house
Yep.
in Wanneroo with the same job doing the same thing. And it's nothing,
Yeah.
I don't say anything bad against anyone else, but the area itself
Yep.
seems to suck people in, and then it doesn't even spit you back out,
Yes.
man. It'll just hold you there.
Mm.
And so that's what happened with a lot of
Yep.
people's parents and a lot of people's older brothers. And so I ran away from that area because I saw it as quite kind of like quicksand. It was sort
Yes.
of like there was a lot of bad stuff happening there, man. It was a lot of hydroponic grows of weed full of sheds, a lot of backyard eccy presses. Like, just, bro, there was no
Yep.
cops up there. The police station shut at 7 o'clock, and
Mm.
the nearest police station
Yeah.
from
Right.
there was a 20-minute drive. So me and all the boys,
Yep.
we knew we had 20-minute head start on anything that we did.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's Wanneroo for you, bro. That's Wanneroo.
Yeah. Now I find like I'm from a place called Frankston in
Yep.
Victoria,
Yeah.
and it sounds somewhat similar. Low socioeconomic,
Yep.
high unemployment.
Yep.
Um, and what I find with that as well is that it attracts a lot of trauma,
Yeah. 100%,
and a
man.
lot of people are there trying to escape their trauma, or they're trying to,
Yeah.
making a quid by, as you say, growing weed or pulling out a pill
Yeah.
press is a way to make coin.
If I can share my opinion on
Similar
that,
sort of
man,
thing.
a lot of people
Yeah,
aren't willing to deal with a lot of people aren't willing to deal with their traumas, James, man. They're just willing to fucking work twice as
yeah,
hard to be a piece of shit and not deal with it, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, and so, yeah,
yeah.
I can fully relate to that, man. 100%.
And it's so beautiful that you've got 8 years sober up, so your children
Mm,
have only seen a sober version of you, Gary.
yeah, yeah. That I would, I
So
would.
would you say that you're breaking the cycle?
Yeah, yeah, I would, James. I feel like I've worked really fucking hard,
Mm,
man. I still work hard every single day.
yeah.
To the people who are in recovery or their first year clean or whatever
Hmm.
like that, don't be confused or don't be
Yep.
tricked to think that this shit's easy, man. I still have
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
demon. I still have a demon in my head that screams at me. You're not good enough. You're weak. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But the truth about it is I think a lot of blokes do. Do you know what I mean? And so for me, I just try not to let that get to me. So I really work hard mentally to stay sharp, man. I don't drink. I don't take
Mm,
drugs, man. I don't do anything other than go to work, try to build my own podcast, and then also as well help people sending messages and stuff, man. Like I really want to help people, bro.
and you're doing a great job of it. When you said you hear this voice saying you're not good enough,
Yeah,
was that your voice or someone
yeah,
else's?
yeah. I used to be a graffiti artist, and my alter
Yep.
ego was my graffiti name, and so I had nicknamed the little version in my head. He's the old shit cunt version of me. That's the graffiti artist, but
Yep.
he'll always be there, and the clean Gary will always be there. And that's another thing I'd like to share with people in recovery. Like, you're still going to have your yin and yang. You have to learn to
Yes.
live with yourself, eh?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So
And
that's
you
really
have
the
bad
answer to
days.
that. Yeah, everybody does, man. And like, you know, I can't go to the pub
Yeah.
because I'm weak. I'm weak, bro. I don't want to see it, man. Everyone goes into the toilet for nose beers.
Yeah,
Even the
yeah.
people that you don't think are doing it are doing it. And
Mm,
someone like myself has got a bit more sight and insight to see, oh yeah, they just come out the toilet. And I'm a sniper with that shit, man. I just leave straight away. I don't want
yeah,
to be
yeah. Well, it
around it,
takes
man.
one to know one, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I ask people to show me respect around it, but then I also don't want to
yeah.
ruin someone's night as well. So there's a lot of situations as
Mm,
a recovered addict that it's lonely, James, man, in a
yeah,
lot of
yeah. Yeah,
ways.
it can be.
And people
It
don't
can be.
understand that. No, they don't, man. They don't understand that, like, I can't see any of my old friends that I grew up with and knew since I
Yeah.
was 15 years old because we all got locked in jail together for being uncivilized, man. So now when we're
Mm,
adults, we don't want to see each other, bro, because all we remind each other of is that bad versions of ourselves. So like when you're in the drug game anyway, there's no love or loyalty because it's the
yeah.
game, it's money, it's this and that. But man, I'll share some
Yeah.
truth with you on the other side. There ain't no love or loyalty when you're clean either.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
not, bro. So you have to learn to live with your life now and not be held back
Mm,
by wants or needs that don't serve you in your sobriety. That's how I live. That's how I move.
that's a great way. So how did you end up like you obviously spent a
Yeah,
lot of time in addiction. You
yeah,
ended up in jail?
yeah, man. I'll tell the story, bro. Like I got slapped on the wrist by the government from the age of 15 to 17 for some pretty bad charges, man. I never actually hurt
Yep.
anybody, but we broke into a lot of
Mhm.
houses. We broke into a lot of shops and we stole a lot of cars, man. Stole a lot of cars.
Yep.
And they just kept letting me out, bro. They would
Mm,
arrest me at the scene of a car crash with a half weight in my pocket and dirty needles on me, right?
yep.
And they would, oh, you're gone. That's it, mate. You're going to the juvenile center for the next day. We're going to send you to the big house with all the men. Now go in front of
Yep.
a judge and he'd go, just give him a curfew and let him out back to his mum's house.
Yeah, so the consequences weren't there. They weren't adult consequences.
But when I turned 18, what I
Yep.
didn't realize was that I had a rap sheet behind me. In my head, I went,
Ah,
oh, I'm right. I'm 18. I haven't got any charges as an adult. But when I got charged with some pretty serious charges within
yep.
6 months of being 18, yeah, I went in for a bit and then come out. And then I was on an intensive supervision order, man. And you're not supposed to do fucking anything when you're on an ISO. Otherwise, you get the amount of jail that they put it on. So it was only for 12 months. So I wasn't really too scared anyway at that point in time because, like I said before, in my head I was Biggie or Tupac. Do you know what I mean? There isn't any like blah
Yeah,
blah
yeah.
blah. So I'm all cocky. I'm all this. I'm all that. And then yeah,
Yeah.
man, they turned around and said you might not have any charges as an adult, but you've been displaying this behaviour for the last 2.5, 3 years, and
Mm,
they sent me straight to the big house to the maximum security here in Perth. And the other two
yep.
boys that I went with, they got sent to the medium security, so they were sort of together and rah rah, and I got sent off the complete opposite way by myself, and that was really scary, man.
How long were you in for?
I got sentenced to 2 years, but going in and out before that, like I said, and that I ended up walking out of prison at 21. So I did three
Yeah.
years all up, just like 6 weeks here, get out for a week, go back for 4 months, then get out for 2 months, and go back for another six. And then when I actually got that 2 years, it all sort of translated into this. Yeah, I walked out of there with a I finished prison sentence, sorry, at 21 because
Yep.
I got a dirty piss test inside the jail for smoking weed inside prison and got knocked
Yep.
back on my parole.
Right.
I
So it
never
was
have.
harder than what you thought?
Yeah, I'm just the guy that knows people, bro. It's not what you know,
Yep.
it's who you know. I know I'm not going to
Yep.
claim to be, like I said before, man. I'm just a fucking 33-year-old white guy from Perth. But at that point
Yep.
in time, back then, um, I knew some people, and when I went to jail, those people sort of looked out for me, bro. And I
Yep.
once again didn't learn a lesson. So
Yeah. Yeah.
even though I was scared at first and everything was scary for me and all that, the boys were in there. So
Mm-hmm.
I ended up sharing a cell with my best mate for 18 months. So on Friday nights when we
Right.
would get
Okay.
we'd get a little chunk of weed on a Friday night in jail and chop it up and smoke it in the cell. And back then it was
Yeah.
they still had Friday night movies and stuff on, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like for me personally, I was 18. It was like we were sleeping over with our friends and shit, man. It just didn't stop. The drugs were inside the prison
Yeah.
more than they weren't. And like, yeah, man, when I got out from jail, because I eventually got
Yes.
my security rate, I eventually got my security rating dropped from maximum to medium. And then just before
Yes.
the end of my sentence, for the last 6 months of my prison sentence, I got sent to the medium security. So that was like fucking
Mm-hmm.
hotel, man. You could buy meat packs with steak out
Yeah.
there. You could get eggs. Like I'd literally been living on jail slops for the last X amount of
Yeah.
time. So for me, the last 6 months was exciting because there was new mates out there that I hadn't seen for the last 2 years. And so when I actually got out of jail,
Yes.
I hadn't learned a lesson still, man.
Nah. So you weren't rehabilitated.
Nah, so you know what I did?
What'd you do?
Got picked up by the boys and had another shot in my arm in about 4 hours of being out of prison for 3 years because drugs don't discriminate, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Straight back
that's
into it.
that's where the story gets bad, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So where did it go downhill from there?
Fuck, it went bad because
Yeah.
I told mum and dad everything that any parent would ever want to hear from their son who just got out of prison. I remember they bought me
Yep.
KFC. I remember they bought me KFC, man. I remember it
Mm.
tasted so good, bro, because I hadn't eaten
Yeah.
any takeaway food or anything for ages, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I remember being at my parents' house, and it was sort of like I think Facebook had first come out. There was no Facebook
Yep.
Messenger or nothing like that. You remember when you used to old school message people on Facebook
Yeah.
and have to
Yeah.
wait?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Right on
think
their wall, and everyone would
yeah,
see it.
yeah, man. And so that's what I did actually, bro. I wrote on my mate's wall, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "Oh, you out now?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm out." And then the boys come and pick me up, and they didn't hold back. They already had it
Yeah.
mixed up. It was already mixed up, waiting for me in the car, man. And like I think, if I remember rightly, good old Wanneroo. I think I was high as fuck before we even made it out of the traffic lights out of the area, man. I was truly
Yeah.
gone and fried. I hadn't had anything for nearly. It was about just over 2 or 3 years, somewhere in between, and
Yep.
I think I whacked up about 2 or 3 points just straight out, like just no fizz, because I used to use quite a lot. I used to
Yeah.
be
Is
pretty.
that dangerous? Like from a OD perspective, sort of thing?
I'm not sure about now in 2025 because I know they use like it's more like meth and cracky now, but back then when I
Yeah.
used to use, everything was pure as, man. So like
Yeah.
I think I never had a heart attack, I never had an overdose or nothing. But
Yep.
one thing it did used to do to me when I used to have too much is you just have a seizure, man. You just got your whole body
Yeah.
just goes into like you can imagine it like off a movie, man. You just
Yep.
inject too much and it just is like some Pulp Fiction shit, man. It does happen.
Yeah. 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 So you were out and you were straight back into the gear.
Yeah.
What made you sober up?
I met a beautiful girl one night, man. And
That'll do it.
yeah, we'll do it, bro. We've been together for 9 years and got 2 kids now.
Yeah. 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 Wow.
Yes. So she was basically living in a similar sort of thing where it was kind of like she was doing her version of it all, and everybody
Yeah,
has their story. And I was
of
pretty
course.
closed. I was pretty closed off, James. I was pretty cold, dude. I didn't want to let anyone near my heart. I was once
Yeah,
again, like I said, I had this chip on my shoulder, like I'd seen all my mates die in gang wars, and fucking all this other crap. So in my head, and this hunch I carried on my back, it wasn't
yeah,
even there, man. It wasn't even there, and this chick could see that. My missus now, she's a weapon, man. I love her so
yes,
much. She just said to me, "Don't you want to be something different? Don't you want something different for yourself?" And
yeah,
I remember
yeah,
crying. I remember I hadn't cried for
yeah,
ages, man. I remember feeling the tears come down my face, and just remember being like, "Holy shit, man!" Like,
yeah,
and then so yeah, after that we shacked up together, and I kept using, and yeah, she got pregnant, and I kept
yeah,
using, and so I used the whole time she was pregnant, pretty much, man. You know what I mean? And that's where when my daughter turned 7, because
yes,
I fully kicked it and gave it away before she was born. And then
yeah,
that's where, around like sort of just before my missus gave birth, I was sitting at the table, and she was she was probably about 4 or 5 months pregnant, actually, and
yeah,
she was cooking at the stove with a baby bump, man. And I just remember being like looking at her, and she just looked over at me and put her hand on the bump and just smiled. I just remember
yeah,
thinking to myself, like, yeah, you have to be better. And
yeah,
I just remember feeling this overwhelming urge of, all right, I need to be better for me and become
mm,
who I need to be for me, so that I can
yes,
be a dad and a partner for this little girl and this beautiful girl who has basically opened up her life to me and let me in when I was at my worst point. So that was
yeah,
what it was for me, man. It wasn't that I got clean for my daughter, because I am a big believer that you can't get clean for something else.
yeah, yeah,
You're not gonna get clean for your fucking big corporate job. You're not gonna get clean for your kids. You're not gonna get clean for your missus that you think you love dearly. It's
mm,
it's internal work. You have to learn to want to love yourself again. And that's what I decided
yes,
that day, is I wanted to love myself again, and I wanted to be able to love myself so I could love back. And that's what the
yeah.
driving force was to get clean. It was selfish, man. Everything to do with drug addicts, and especially me, it's always selfishly driven, man.
Yeah, it's self-compassion, isn't it? Like
Yeah, yeah,
I
100%.
I really struggled to feel love when I was
Okay.
inactive,
Yeah, man.
and
Yep.
I struggled to give, love, and
Okay. Yep.
when I found some love for myself was when I could start to give love to others, and when
Yeah,
love
nice.
filled up my heart and that around me,
That's beautiful, man. I love
that's what
stuff
I
like
found.
that, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you believe in the concept of a higher power?
I believe in spirituality, man. And I believe
Yeah.
that, um, yeah, there's definitely a higher power. If I could just put that question into your wording, like, I should be dead a lot of times, man,
Yeah.
from some of the car crashes, and even the amount of drugs
Yeah.
I've taken on some nights when being awake for 5 or 6 days and then injecting a half weight. I'm lucky I can talk the
Yeah.
way I talk. You
Mm.
know what I mean? There is something
You-
watching over me, so to speak.
You're very articulate.
I feel like I have to be, with the way that my recovery stuff is. Like,
Yep.
notice it from my videos. Like, I feel like people can connect to that, man. And I feel like that's what
Of
people
course.
need. They need that
Yeah.
articulate person who's going to be able to go from such a hectic conversation just straight in.
When you became sober and
Yeah,
you touched the baby bump,
yeah.
did you get any assistance with it? Did you go to any meetings or anything like that?
Do you want to hear a good yarn for your listeners, man?
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
go to
Go.
I didn't go to rehab.
Yep.
I didn't do anything like that, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't work, bro.
Yeah.
Because when you leave rehab and you leave prison, that's when the
Yep.
hard part.
Of course.
Yeah, like I don't believe that doctors are there to help. I don't believe that rehabs work. And the
Yep.
reason I say that is just from percentages, man. And so what I did was Wanneroo is on one side of the river.
Yes.
I moved all the way down to the south side, man, like ages away, and yeah, just basically removed myself from all my surroundings, everything I knew to be um truthful, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? Or what I saw
Yeah.
around as every day. I changed
Mm.
my environment, and yeah, me and my missus, like I said, she was pregnant, and then we went down there and got away for a little bit, and then yeah, we got another little house, and I got a job, and we just started networking and growing and building, man. And then I started, yeah, looking for work here, work there, and we ended up getting a little house together, which was a big thing for us too, man. It was like our
Yeah.
first house before the baby was born,
Amazing.
and
Yep.
yeah, and then I got my license back, man. And then
Yes.
I did this all in the first 6 months of being clean without any rehab or any like nothing like that. So I didn't
Yeah.
go with any of it.
And through the recovery tapes,
Yeah,
you're building a great sense of community of addicts in recovery,
thank you.
which is
That
a really beautiful thing.
I feel like if you've struggled from an addiction, right,
Yep.
and you've beat it, I'm not saying that you're stronger than the next person that you stand next to in the street,
Yes.
but to beat an addiction or, to overcome a trauma and be able to
Mm.
push through, it's nothing light. If you've beaten an addiction, start a business, have a
Yeah.
crack at something, you know what I mean? You are stronger than you think. And
Yes.
that's what the recovery tapes is about. It's about
Yeah.
hearing people's stories so that other addicts can listen to my podcast, and then they
Hmm.
can, without anybody actually going, you need to do this, they can hear
Yes.
someone else's story and they can draw strength from it, and they can
Yep.
make a decision, and no one's telling them they're right or wrong if they do or don't. And that's what the
Yes.
recovery tapes is about, man.
That's beautiful, man. So, what do you do to help
Yeah.
your recovery on a daily or weekly basis? Do you have any
I'm a
go-to tools?
I'm a workaholic, man. I work
Yep.
I'm a tradie, as you can see.
Yeah. Yeah.
I build bathrooms for my boss. I had a crack at
Yep.
running my own business for 5 years, so
Yep.
I actually skated out of that. That's another thing that I am, is like sort of a businessman, a little bit of an entrepreneur, so to speak.
Yeah.
I just I can just see the bullshit in things, man. Do you know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
that's what I don't want people to have when they're going through recovery. I don't want there to be bullshit hurdles that make them use again. So yeah,
Yep.
for that side of things, like I keep myself busy, because I'm not sure what the saying is. I think it's, what is it? Idle hands are the devil's playwork or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. The Devil's Playground or something like that.
That is me in a nutshell. If I'm not working 50 hours a week and doing my podcast, then my mind will be doing other stuff, and I don't have time to
Yeah.
fuck up, bro. So I work and run my dad life, and I just, even now, man, I'm in the car after driving. It's like 3 hours of driving from one side of the city to the other. Everyone else complains about it, but I do
Yeah.
videos in my car, man. I spend time with myself.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like, yeah, man, when you learn to love yourself, like you said, man, you got to learn to enjoy your own company as well, don't you? So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you can celebrate yourself for where you are now, Gary.
yeah, I can, man. I've come a long way, bro. Come a
Yeah.
very long way, man. To being that kid who come from a good home that didn't need to use drugs, that didn't have any trauma, that threw himself into the pit.
Yeah.
I'm now standing on the outside of the pit, offering
Yeah.
a hand to someone else. And when I was getting clean, there was no fucking TikTok, bro. People throwing bottles at me out the window, calling me a crackhead, mate.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Man, and so I don't want people to go through that, because I remember how it felt, man. It made me
Mm.
go internally. It made me fucking it made me hate myself even more, because the thoughts I would have when people would abuse me like that was, oh, fuck you, I'll just smash your car up or steal from you or do something bad to you anyway. So now that
Yeah.
I'm not that person, man, that's a really big thing for me, eh?
Yes. Yeah. 100%. 100%. So with the world of TikTok, which is where I stumbled across you and where you're
That's my
building a
playground,
really
yeah.
great profile,
Yeah,
really
that's
great
my playground, man.
profile and a really great support network, you must get a lot of love through there.
Do, mate. I'm blessed to have that page. It started out as a
Yeah.
page called Sober Dad Life. I don't know if you ever saw
Oh
me
yeah.
when I was Sober Dad Life, but that was
I don't
me.
think
That
you
was,
did. No.
no, so that's what it
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
started out with, bro. It was sober.dad.life. And I just
Yep.
recorded myself in the car one day and was like, anybody want to hear my story? And it got like 5,000 views, man. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, man. And then so I did another one. I was like, should I make part two? And that got a few views. And then that one I did at the chemist, man, that got like
Yeah.
28,000. That got like 28,000 views in like a day and a half. And I was like, poof.
Yes.
And yeah,
Yeah.
a friend of mine who's a content creator was like, you have to turn that page into something else. You can't
Yes.
not do something with that. And I didn't even know they were good numbers at the time, man. I was just like, I'm recording
Yeah.
myself in my car. And then so
Yep.
the amount of people that gave me love on that video at the front of the chemist and said like, congratulations, you should be proud of yourself, like that.
Mm,
Another thing I want to say to people is like, you're not going to you can't expect love and praise when you get clean. Some people do, some
yeah.
people don't. But it's a big part of it that I never had any love or praise for over 6 years. And then all of a sudden I made a TikTok page and I had fucking people messaging me and the whole lot going crazy like, hey, bro, you helped me
So
today. Get clean. When you get clean, you can't expect people to give you love and praise. I don't
yeah.
feel like it's something that some people do, dude. Some people go, stop using. You should fucking thank me or you should, it's good. No,
Yeah.
it doesn't work like that. You earn your respect by being sober and then shutting the fuck up and getting on with it, man.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's about you. Like I said before, it's a selfish thing for you. You want to be better for yourself. And the only reason that people get upset in sobriety when they don't get love is because they still don't love themselves. So they're looking for it externally to make them feel
Yes.
okay. And
Mm.
yeah, man, yeah.
And what about criticism? Do you get any
Yeah.
naysayers on the Tiki Talk?
Yeah, I do, man. I get, just for everybody that is listening, if you start an internet page and put self-help videos up, you are
Yeah.
going to get abused. You're going to get abused.
Mm.
It's a
Yep.
part of our society. Unfortunately, I won't go into the like workings of it, so to speak.
Yep.
But not many people are happy to see people recovering on there. You know, there's a lot of shit comments on my page that get stamped out by TikTok itself. And then
Yes.
some of the messages I get, and they're from people that know me. They can't
Yep.
not be from the way the message is worded, but it just
Yeah.
says like user 249 da 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 whatever it is, and it's
Yeah.
like you'll always be a piece of shit, rah, rah, rah,
Yeah.
rah. And I just laugh because I'm like, whoever you are, you're probably still sitting on your mum's couch,
Yeah. It's because
and
you've done it, like you've done something that's really fucking difficult that not
yeah,
everyone can do. It's hard to pull yourself out of addiction.
it is, man. It's like I think the percentage of people in Perth at the moment that are actually recovering is like it's really low, man.
Yeah.
I think the fail rate of people coming out of rehab is nearly at 90% fails, and I
Yep.
think it's just over a 10% success. And then, as far as I know, from a friend of mine who's still pretty deep in it, who I'm been actively working with for a few years now. What happens if you go to the doctors over here and say, I want to quit? They put you on
Mm.
Suboxone, I'm not
Yeah.
sure if you know what Suboxone is, Subutex. It's a pharmaceutical substitute for heroin. So when
Yep.
you have it, it just makes you like, it's just like
Yeah.
sloppy and rah rah. But they're
Hmm.
giving that to speed addicts now that say they want to get clean. So if you've
Yeah.
never used any down before and you go to the doctor and say, oh, I want to get clean, they're literally giving you pharmaceutical heroin. So yeah, you're going to walk
Yes.
away with no speed addiction, but you have to go
Yep.
to the chemist to dose for the rest of your time to be okay. And it's just they're just tricking people
Yeah.
into another addiction, man. And it's wild at the moment, man.
Well, and also it's a pharmaceutical industry. Like if they're selling subby to
Yeah.
people, there's
Mm.
money to be made. As you said before, there's always a dollar sign at the end of these things.
Man, I mean, 100%. And I probably shouldn't have said what I said before so freely because I do apologize to the people who have gone to rehab and they have been helped by it because there are people out there that have, like, let's face it, you know. But I think
Yeah.
in the bigger spectrum of things is that if they did want it to be a statistic where it was 10% fail and 90% succeed, then there would be a different setup, or they wouldn't be feeding Subutex to people at the doctors like it's nothing. Because, yeah, man, some of those pharmaceutical companies, they create some really powerful drugs and release it like it's nothing.
Yeah. 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 And like, and effectively, like most illegal substances that people are out there getting high on are pharmaceuticals that people have found um, ways to abuse to get high, right?
Yeah, man. Well, if you crush them all up,
Yeah.
like, bro, I used to be a piece of shit, mate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I'm not the guy who's sitting there sugarcoating stuff because
Yeah.
all sugarcoating ever did was just give people more of an addiction, in my opinion,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. So, what do you believe are the
Yeah,
best ways or best tools to recover?
nature,
Yeah.
nature, and the great outdoors, man. Take your shoes
Yeah.
off and connect back to the land. We live in a concrete
Mm,
jungle, man. My soul was full when I went back out into nature when I got clean in the first 6 months. The Australian bush has very healing characteristics about it. It's a beautiful,
100%.
beautiful, beautiful country we live at, man. Go
Mm,
camping, go out into the sand dunes, go up into the hills in wintertime and see all the waterfalls and all the rocks and everything like that, and it will heal you. You
yeah.
don't
Yeah.
need medication and doctors to get healing. Read
Yeah.
about mindfulness, read books about the power of your mind and start
Yeah.
unlocking these channels in your head. I mean,
Mm,
I did an interview with a guy on Saturday
yep.
and that comes out on Wednesday, and man, that guy's story would put most people in a box. And this
Yeah.
guy literally just, well, he chose Zen. He
Yep.
went everything Zen, and I believe in that, man. Zen and calm peace is what will heal your soul, and it will make your frequency within your body resonate to your original frequency before you try to run from yourself. Once
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
feel that is when the healing begins, man.
And a lot of that's like Eastern philosophy or indigenous
Yeah,
philosophy or whatever. All this sort of shit you used to be able to do before drugs were around. Full stop.
100%. Like where I grew up around Wanneroo and stuff is all surrounded by bush and market gardens. So for
Yeah.
us as kids, I didn't even realize it, man. For us as kids, we were already playing in the bush,
Yeah.
connected. We were connected to it before we even knew. And I'm just a white kid too, bro. Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
just grew up in an undeveloped area. Like I remember one night it was tea time, and you remember when the rules used to be. No phones is back in the just be home before the street lights turn on.
The
Remember
street
that?
lights, of course. Yeah, I know it.
And I remember hearing my name just get shouted from the edge of this bush. And we were kids, man. We didn't even know. It was like nearly 7 at night because it's summertime. There's things that, and my dad was peeling through the bush to try and get me. And
Yeah.
I remember he stepped on this piece of wood and it had a nail in it, went straight through his foot. And like
Oh,
for me,
mate.
yeah, I was scared. I just ran further into the bush. Like
Yeah.
And so when I got clean and sort of like, I realized that connection to nature had sort of always been there without me realizing it as well, you know? So I would say get around everything natural, get around
Yeah.
everything, yeah,
I was going
wholesome.
to ask you at the start of this conversation,
Yeah,
what you did as a child to bring you joy. But you've naturally brought that up as we're getting towards the end of our conversation. Because I tend to find that so often there's these full circle moments of what brought you joy as a child can either help in recovery or
yeah.
helps with the day to day now. It's funny how things come full circle like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, man, as a kid, I used to just love riding my push bike around, man. And that's the
Yeah.
shit we used to do, man. Climb trees, smash windows on this random house just to see what would happen.
Yeah.
Ride my bike. As a teenager, it was more sort of focused around, yeah, like dirt bikes and cars and like and crime and other shit like that. But as a kid, as a
Before that.
as a as a kid, I was just an explorer, man. I love
Yeah.
exploring things, eh? And so, like, I think that's what I'm doing now with the recovery tapes as well. Is I'm exploring another part of the world that I've never explored before, which is helping others get
Yeah.
to a point where
Yeah.
they need to be. And so maybe, yeah, maybe that was the thing for me as a kid, man. I just wanted to go. I didn't want to be held back. I wanted to be able to just ride wherever I wanted or play footy or run until
Mm.
there was nowhere to run anymore. And I think that translated into, yeah, drug culture, drug life. And it's why I took it so far, man.
I think it's that sense of freedom as well. I know that that was a
Yeah.
little bit like me. I was always chasing freedom, but once you get so deep into the drug world and drug taking, it takes away your freedom and you become really
Yeah.
isolated.
It really does. Like, just for everybody listening as well that is in recovery or they're in active addiction, it's pretty lonely. And like you just said, in most states and places anyway, you might have people surrounded you, but they're not there for you. They're there for the drugs anyway. And then when you're by yourself, if you surround yourself with fakeness when you're clean, it's going to
Yeah.
make you upset, man. Do you know what I mean? It's going to make you depressed when you realize that this person I've been trying to be friends with to impress, to be clean or living like this or whatever, they don't actually care anyway because they've never experienced it. They've never been through it. So I find that recovered addicts sort of group up in a certain way and we all sort of back off each other and help each other stay clean without realizing it. Oh,
Yeah, of course. That sense of community. I got one more question for you.
yeah, man.
You mentioned a beautiful girl and
Yeah,
your weapon of a woman.
yeah.
She must be so fucking proud of you now, Gary.
She is, man. And I'm really lucky to have her, eh? I'm really,
Yeah.
really, really lucky to have my missus, man. There's not many like that, and she's recovered herself, so
Yeah.
she knows when I'm having a bad day, and I'm
Yeah.
lucky enough to have someone who's got insight and can just go, all right, he needs a bit of an extra moment, or I better take the kids away. And I do the same for her, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like a great team.
Yeah, it is. It works, man. It's working, and we're happy. So that's the main thing.
Good on you, brother. Well, I'm so grateful for your time, Gary, and for you telling your story.
Thank you, mate.
I'm really blessed, and I'll look forward to sharing this with you, and we can help build these communities that we've got together, man, from different sides of Australia. Hey.
Yeah, well, hopefully one day we get the chance to fucking sit down together, man. Hopefully this recovery stuff actually turns out to be, bigger than what we're doing just now on Riverside. So all the best, man.
Absolutely, Gary. Thank you, brother. You take care, and thanks for your time.
That's all right, mate. Have a beautiful day. Take it easy.
See you, Gary. Bye, mate. Thanks for joining us today on Slaying Sober. If you're sober curious, in addiction, or know someone who could benefit from listening, please share this episode with them. Jump over to Instagram and say g'day at Slaying Sober Pod and follow us on Spotify to hear the latest episodes come out. Until then, keep slaying sober.